Rogue for this map 2 on Chalet. Can he do it?
I guess we're going to have to find out. And as I said, before the turn of the break, Rogue have to come back here with fresh mindset. Because whatever was going for them last map, something better to forget. A 7-1 scrubbing across the side of Bank was what came through from XSET. The guns looked hotter.
I forgot the first cheer here. Disappointing.
No, they did a bit.
A little bit.
A little
Needs
bit.
to be louder, come on.
There's a lot that's on the stakes.
There's a lot that's on stake.
Not just booing the operator selection.
I'm gonna woo for the operator selection. Is there Thatcher to be removed? Finka will see play. Has been banned quite long actually throughout this tournament, so it's a bit of a change. The mirror removed as well, as slowly everybody's starting to get back and realize what's going on. It's the operator banged. One more. Valkyrie, possibly. Echo. Zami.
Well, there it is. All we have ahead of us now from the side of Rogue is a technical best of 1 if they want to survive, and then another one right after to drive it. One more map, and the crowd is getting noisy. They know it's not just these 2 teams hitting heads. They know it's 2 regions that have always had very kind things to say about each other. Here, Rogue on Chalet. Not a map that's a big tour de force for them, but at this point, they got to go off books if they want to try and make this happen.
Starting on the attack here. What do they have to bring as we're headed towards Snowmobile and Garage first? It is going to be a tough test for Rogue. We said it before, it's not really their map. It is the site choice, a map choice, not site choice, of XSET. And thus they need to come with something surprising here.
10 seconds
now, if they have been watching Ace of Pirate streams, they know exactly how to attack this site. They say it's a 100% success rate.
Ace of Pirate, he's got a 100% success rate.
Exactly.
And I think that's everything that Rogue need right now. XSET, if they get off to a strong start here, sure it's Chalet, but still, with the energy and momentum they had in the previous round, I guess it's seeing what happens. Spoit picking up the role of the Finker. That isn't the most sort of common stand-in. Let's see if he can try and make this LMG make a little bit of noise across the faces of the side of XSET. They have their full stretch here. Some attention paid down towards Trophy, trying to get the catch onto Yoga. Gomez is stacked up on the top floor. It's obviously the full extension onto what is the Snowmobile site. They're wasting time, we're wasting a bit of this stretch. XSET, they can try and pull themselves back at a later date, but it seems like they might want to try and just draw the Rogue players towards them and scrap on the windows. Gomez, what sort of start are you thinking about having here as the pressure comes onto double window? He takes a bit of the wrong end of it, sprays back, slips away, and XSET tuck tail.
Grenade popping through, is not finding spirits. Looks to go aggressive here on the double windows, but decides better of it. Falls back, stays in that bathroom, doesn't want to give away his current position, but he has been droned out. Will be taken care of. Spirits takes a small amount of damage through the wall. Zjok in the meantime, there gets taken out as well. Crown with the first, Kanto with the second.
Spirit's massively injured. He's going to slip away, but not very far. Kanto Raketti had the cover. Rogue played that perfectly. Gomez almost takes the head off of a bit of a wide stray from Deepak. The 2 remaining players have brought themselves back down towards the site. Rogue now, they have the rest of the building under their control. They've just got to try and find a way to force the site, force themselves through. They've got the hard destruct. They've got the abilities to break apart anything ahead of them.
But will they? 2 members left on XSET. You shouldn't be losing this as Rogue right now. You got to make sure that you play this patiently. You have a minute. You have the time. Hatch is being taken under control by Crine, making sure there's no defender that can sneak back up as Deepak close around the corner, ready to toss the Candelas in to blind whoever is inside. There goes the first, takes care. But the CLAs again, the exothermic comes out. It's a bit of an aggressive pusher. Gomez is around to come the corner. Leon will not be picked up. Gomez finds the first before he gets punished.
Now it's just one more Diaz on the back line. He went bold, he went aggressive. There's the breach itself. They've got all their cams, they got the intel on if anyone swings on the other side, but they're trying to tuck themselves for the wine plant, and that grenade sort of says the statement, we know where you are, and the drone is the punctuation at the end of that sentence, the plant being tucked on the corner. The cover is either side, and it's Diaz to get one, but Kanto locks off his triple round.
And this is the energy they need after that round, after the map previously. But they need to carry this along to round 2. Again, wine, no, we're changing that one up. As you see Rogue having a bit of a discussion quickly, like everything went quite okay this round. Let's keep up this energy. Gotta make sure we do. Kanto again, pressured, headshot, following up right after. And then finding a second from that same window, just a rotation through. Whew. It's kind of the sharpness. They missed in that last map on Bank. They were in the right positions. They just were unable to connect their shots.
That's it. That's the sign of confidence we need from Rogue. And touch wood, that's how the first game opened. And then from that point onwards, XSET were able to put a pretty strong showing back through. So Rogue, what else can you drive here on a slightly different side of bar, the second story control? Leon picking up the role of the Gridlock, and Cryin picking up the role of the Amaru. Hey, do you remember casting a Cryin Amaru? I believe it was an ace.
I believe it was an ace, yeah. So if history repeats itself, we might see a second round in favor of Rogue here. But, we can never really rely on that happening twice at the same time. It would be a miracle if that would be the case. But they are looking to go quick on the side of Rogue.
That's it. There's a bit of pace here in the pockets of Rogue. They have obviously Deepak playing on that role with the Candelas. They might try and drive themselves directly into the site itself. There's the swing onto the top. There's the throw out. You can see Kanto on the far side of the balcony. Maybe hoping to find a fight here. Could roll the grenade to remove that utility. Has done that before, but just holding onto the door for the second. Rogue, they're trying to find the threads of the players inside. They're ready to try and cause a bit of noise. They don't want to be tucked directly under the window in case there's a spray through. Leon is going to try and find that corner stick player of Yoga. The gate's burnt. Yoga, is he going to drift into this engagement or wait for the pressure to start to come towards him here? It's a very tricky, close to suicide spot that you can really play. More grenades, more breach and break. There's Deepak with the smokes in the cover. There's the spray over the top. There's a missed opportunity for Spoit. Cryin is ready and raring to go. They've boxed the top of the blue stairs, dropped the fight there. One close tucked onto the box. Spoit's concerned. Someone's going to find him, but it's Leon and Spoit. Dropped from the back line, but they're inside the site looking for the pantry line. Cryin look left. He does not. Caught out by the corner player, Diaz. Puts us them into a 3 versus 3. Still trying to keep the pressure hot, though.
Didn't properly check the corner there, and now we find ourselves in even numbers. A good start for Rogue, but it kind of diminished quite quickly there. So let's see if they can get that pace back into their own favor. Deepak has that diffuser ready to go in. The drone will be checking out whether or not Diaz is still inside a pantry. We'll confirm that now. That's a valuable piece of information as Diaz rotates out. The Sir Laser Gate has been reactivated, and his head has been taken out.
Well, there's Kanto, takes revenge now, and they're going for the verticality here. A minute on. They have plenty of time to try and find the two loose players. They are slightly separated, but they're wanting to reconvene. You can see Kino around the bottom of the stair set itself, down in Snowmo. He's holding off. Spirits is going to see if he can find the fight. Rotating behind Kanto. Does he know? Well, it's either side. Leon takes the burn to get the kid onto the window. There's the wide. There's Kino back up the stairs. Leon, he takes a bit of pressure, pops round, but they're inside the site at this point, and the Banshee gives the game away. Does not know. The rotation has come back through. It's scrappy. Neither of them gets the full lockdown, but the impact.
Gotta catch them all, and with that, another round in favor of XSET. Again, round 1, Rogue, round 2, XSET. Now you gotta make sure, though, it doesn't turn into another 7 consecutive rounds if you are a member on Rogue or a fan standing behind them. Now, of course, it is not their favorite map. Talking about Rogue, they will be fighting an uphill battle throughout the rest of this semi-final as they lost their own map pick. They're now onto a map they basically never play, but at the same time, that could mean they have something up their sleeves. Unfortunate that Cryin did not check his left corner there. That could have been the round changer.
Oof, I mean, credit to Diaz for that second follow-up. He got into the aggressive position. Unfortunate timing, the gun 6 on the swing so low. When you have that as your secondary, 1 for 1. Now it's up to Rogue to see if they can make sure there's not a repeat of the previous map. They're back onto the site they took pretty well before. A great close down on the top loose players. I feel like we might not see so much of a tall extension from the side of XSET before. They were massively punished on the looser roam game. Probably still at least a player, but maybe not all three fighting it out.
Of course, and maybe falling back a little bit earlier if they are all on that top 4. You cannot afford to lose that many players that early on into that round. You see them as well right now. They're playing a bit more patient. They're just all around. They are playing around these hatches, so they have a quick fallback opportunity. Bit of pressure being sent out from the bedroom there, so bit of attention will be paid by Rogue as the front doors are being knocked in at the same time, but Deepak as well.
Okay, Rogue already tucked, ready to try and strike. You can see that XSET, they pulled themselves back. Kanto puts some pressure onto the window and suffers a spray back. The first player slips on through and takes the hot drop over the balcony. There it is, XSET. They've generally pulled themselves back. And as I said, left a single player, Spirits. He's going to sit, he's going to wait, he's going to put his feet up and hope that nobody finds out where he is. Yoga, he's going to take the drop onto the hatch as well. All of the rest of the players have fallen back closer and closer towards the site. They've got themselves more of an awareness. Rogue, steady drone ahead, but the difference now is, oh, Gomez gets that early catch.
Waiting for the drop there on that hatch, finds the kill onto Spoit. The young superstar player made his debut in stage 2, instantly found into a semi-final on the international stage. The question will be, is Rogue going to be with these changes instantly to begin contention for the grand final? Well, if they are, they need to step it up now because XSET is definitely seeming a bit sharper here today, especially on Bank, and now looking to turn the tides on Chalet as well.
Putting the breach onto West Main. We talked about the importance of the hatch. If you want to try and get this down, they've obviously got the air jab on the door, but it's still a threat that they've got to try and keep locked down. Gomez tucked around on the shield with the swing, has obviously the Aruni gates ahead of him. The drone's going to get the reveal. 2 ADSs and still a loose Spirits on the top floor. Something to strike a little bit later. XSET, they have the man advantage as well. They're well aware of where the push is coming from and where they're going to want to try and drive themselves towards. Diaz has the glasses to stop this. A couple of impacts and a C4 pre-fires from Yoga, but his position's known. It's Gomez! Swings wide, takes the head off of one, waiting for a second to come through. Rogue, they're trying to butt their head against the closed door here, and Gomez is happy to play either side of it.
A 2-minute disadvantage for Rogue. Still a roamer out on the board as well to need to deal with. This round is not looking very likely to be won. Spirits comes down these blue stairs now. Is about to be coming right face to face with Crying. Both take damage. None will kill the other as Kino will pick up Leon in the meantime though. Is Crying going to be able to turn the tide? Gets one. It's a start.
But it's a 10 seconds towards an end. Diaz puts one more down. Crying is all that's left with 4 other players to find their way through, and here once again XSET take the lead on the 3rd round.
XSET in that lead is going to be dangerous to deal with because they haven't really been put under any pressure yet by Rogue. Rogue needs to put up that pressure. Rogue needs to come in to this game a little bit more. It's not the crowd. The crowd is all behind them. It might be Nurse. It might be XSET having studied them through and through and knowing exactly how to deal with this current Rogue. The dining in the kitchen will be playing right afterwards. You saw it there. Gomez holding that drop perfectly, able to shut down Spoit. And after that, well, XSET just took him down one by one. Not really, again, under any pressure. The site gets opened up, but that's about it.
It was better play there from XSET. They pulled themselves back. There's a couple of cosplayers with maybe a little bit of an NA fan base.
A little bit. They are the loudest voices for XSET currently.
But it was better from XSET. They pulled themselves back. They knew how good and how much focus Rogue were putting onto taking them across the top, and then couldn't quite get it from that point onwards. For the first time, we see a 3rd site, Kitchen. Can they complete the 3-site rotation here? Obviously, it's XSET's map. But again, if we talk about how Bank is something that works well with attackers, Chalet's the same.
It's going to be the same. You need to get these rounds in now, Rogue. And even though it doesn't look like, you know, these last 2 rounds, you had much to say about the outcome, that could still change in just a matter of seconds. Back on the Amaru. What's it going to be bringing? The pace towards Spirits, maybe? I mean, he is watching these double windows, so surely not. Ooh, seeing someone on the rappel right there. It's going to go for the pre-fire. That's Leon gone. It's a diffuser drop, but Crine steps in. It's a go for a double reply. Noser is a third, looking to try and chase it down. The Sport tried to help as well.
That's the kind of energy that they needed. Their Rogue instantly bit themselves towards it. Gomez with the pre-fire off towards balcony. But they've tucked themselves in, taken a second to reevaluate. You can see Diaz, he's drifting a little bit closer, but a little bit by himself on the far side. Spoit, he's got an important fight on the boards right now because Gomez is trying to retake. Do they know? Doesn't matter. Gomez sprays it out, puts us back into a 3 versus 3.
Had the pings into exactly where he was, yet unable to pick up the kill, unfortunately. Next set, they bring it back, 3-3. Gomez still up above, is dangerous in that situation, can just come in and wait for Rogue to go for an execute because the time starts to tick down, only 80 seconds, and the diffuser still dropped on the ground, needing to be recovered. I don't think they'll actually go for it. I mean, Sport might actually go for it now. I thought he was going to go in downside, but it's going to be pick up that diffuser, so at least they have the opportunity to go for an execute, the 3 remaining members.
What choice do they really have at this point? The structure and control that they have isn't really absolute. They've obviously sort of had to hand over a bit of the verticality, and as soon as XSET realize that, they might try and fight their way back through, holding the long angles and going for the rotate all the way underneath. Maybe hoping to catch somebody up the swing onto the west main stairs, and Spoit by himself. Deepek is tucked a little bit closer, giving themselves some soft 40 seconds. They're trying to evaluate just if anyone's behind the chassis and where the tucked players are, but once again, XSET playing this game very well. Nobody's overextending. They're going to see if they can just stick it. The pings are coming through, but it's Spoit to get a huge take. There's Yoga, but a little bit too late. Swinging with the pops of post plant. Kanto's gone. There is Spoit with one more. Can he get the last? It's deep.
And Rogue managed to reply. There's not going to be another 7 rounds in a row for NA. They need to keep this up. 2-2. If they manage to get 1 or 2 more attacking rounds on the board, Rogue will find themselves in a good spot to fight.
Hey, there's Jerry.
There he is. The man of the chance.
And there it was. The great combination. The Gun 6 just sees the tail end of Spirits. There is.
I was going to say, I heard it earlier, but it's like, I don't know where it is.
All that matters is that it's here.
Yeah, that's all that matters. Just the sound.
All right, Rogue, 2 for 2. That's a good cam. Big reactions, you might make it onto the big screen. 2 for 2, Rogue. You found, matched and improved on your performance in the last map, but there's still a lot left ahead of you here. XSET, they've been able to take 2 of their defenses. They still have more of an opportunity to pull a couple more at this point. Rogue has got to see if they can try and drive themselves through. Once again, back towards the bar site. This one, it was a little bit back and forth. 1 kill potentially goes the way of Rogue, and you potentially have a different round. But it's not a game of potentials. It's a game of what's on the board on the top center of your screen. And you can see it starting with a difference on the top center of your screen. Rogue is all the way on Solaria.
Spoit looking to put some early pressure down. Drone coming in to get that information. You might want to get a grenade to follow up shortly. Spirits is playing close around the bathroom door, but will fall back. Knew that earlier on, the grenades were coming in quite close, so you don't want to have that happen again. Kanto up onto balcony. Managed to pick up a double kill earlier here today. Gets picked up this time. Gomez shuts him down.
Sprayed over the top, XSET. They have their opener. Kanto Raketti removed. Earlier on, still a lot of Rogue, but this has been a kill that's gone without an answer, which has often led to disaster. Spirits is about to be under maybe a little bit more pressure. There's a player inside. Do they know? Well, not that close. The next, they've all slipped away. Spoit, he started to activate with the roll of the finger. And there's the next. I said it. He finds another. Gomez taken out. The Swedish Wonder Kid isn't quite done yet.
Deepek now offering some help as well. Onto the balcony he goes. Just quickly opens up that window, realizes that there is some phones that can be hacked. Give access to the camera network that the defenders do have set up. You might be able to find 1 or 2 as a result of it. Still a player though inside of the library. Yoga has the hatch to drop down and will be using that at the least amount of pressure that comes in as well. Kino sneaking up the staircase, looking to provide some support to Yoga in this 3v4 situation. Rogue taking it slow because they can. They have 60 seconds. They just need to make the right decisions here to attack in time. As it is Kino picked up from Crying from below. Sport now goes aggressive, but they've already fallen down. They're both in the sight. As Yoga falls, it's only up to DS now. He takes a bit of damage. He knows he needs to hold on. He's in the back of the supply line here. It is going to be the entry soon, as Leon is already around the corner.
Tucked into the corner of Bar Stock here. They knew where he was last time after he got a couple of kills for his trouble, but for 30 seconds and pre-firing all the angles he can. There seems to be a Rogue player every which way, but no way. Moved closer and closer. Cannot get the first. And the Spoit Crying combo moves Rogue back into the lead.
Getting into that rhythm now.
Was that "Who are you" chant?
I heard a Rogue is on fire currently coming down.
Rogue is on
Sliding
fire.
in the background.
Spoit is on fire.
Spoit is on fire,
Your
yeah.
defense is terrified.
It's wonderful having all of you back here in the venue.
Yeah.
As Rogue take the lead here on the map. 2-3. Slow-mo cry from Kanto there. War chat. And now round 6, the last opportunity for Rogue to truly lock this off as a 1-half with a 4-2 scoreline. But for XSET to bring it back. We're back to its snowmobile and wine. It's 50-50 success rate so far today.
It is. But I think this round is something that has a lot more importance for the side of Rogue. Going into their defense with a 4-2 based on how the first map went, based on how defenses on this map go for anybody for Rogue, and based on XSET's exceptional attacking. They got to make sure that they get a little bit more than an even split on the side. XSET, can they pull something out here? They don't think it's worth taking that attack time out. To be fair, it's still par for the course for a lot of teams and a lot of showdowns. Kino getting himself the rotations there across the top. Crying gets the drone and gets the reveal. You can see they've gone for a little bit more of a direct route through once again. Quick pressure, Deepek opening up routes and rotations out of there. They're going for the same sort of catch play.
Bomb coming in as well, just trying to make sure there's some phone calls going out to the XSET players. Not finding anything as of yet, though. Here it comes, activated now. So Spoit is in, hunting down a sound. Doesn't hear any ringing, so knows that this part of the top floor is going to be clear. Still checks it though, just in case. You never know.
You never know, and that's it. That's something which has cost them before. There is obviously one loose player. Just round on the corner, Spirits. Will he get found by Leon? How thorough is your drone in?
Oh, they haven't checked it yet.
This could be risky and dangerous.
Oh, he went down.
Moved on. Well, I guess they hope that they get the call, because Spoit, his back is turned around on the side of the hatch, and Spirits plays it perfectly. Does not move or breathe, and waits as the approach starts to come through underneath. They think it's clear. We know it's not.
We definitely know it's not, and that is going to be coming back to bite them sooner rather than later. He's still sticking still onto that part of the library. He's waiting for Rogue to go for the execute. He's waiting for Rogue to start pushing onto the side, because that is when he does most damage.
There it is. The pressure comes around. The pop onto the Banshee. We could see a grenade pin being pulled, but nobody was on the wrong end of it. At that point, around the minute mark, you're still sitting on the side of Spirits thinking, when? Well, he has all the time at this point. As long as the players on the side are alive, he doesn't feel like he has to go for the rotate.
Moving.
Here's the movement. There's the first. There's the second. Spirits! One slip on a drone, and the round slips a bit through their fingers. Got a quick hot foot it all the way back up to the top. He gets his third.
One missed drone and so much damage done. Basically tells you need to check all these corners. You never know if someone's going to be hiding in one of them. And yes, he is quite low. Kanto now going on that chase. Picked up as well. It's a quad kill. He jumps down, chasing that last kill. He wants the ace, but it's Crying on the other side of the map. We'll be chasing him through that top floor, headed towards the piano. Spirit has that diffuser in hand. It's just going to be waiting for the attacker to make a move. 14 seconds left. The time is going to be running out. It's an XSET round already, but it might be an ace to lock it off. But Cryan hops down towards the library side. He hopes to go for a bit of an exit here, but no one will find either way. XSET lock it off with 3-3 after a huge play by Spirits and the missed drone from Leon.
A deadly round from Spirits there. He was in the right time and the right place to do the perfect amount of destruction on that approach. A 3-3, it's still obviously far from over, but an even split there. It does not make things easy. Great exchange there from the side of Spirits. The premonition to know when the next was coming through. And the fourth.
You can only praise him for that round. He did everything right. Of course, helped a little bit by a small mistake, but he did everything he needed to do, and the round goes to XSET. But hey, it's a better half for Rogue. They managed to get 3 rounds on the board.
It is.
Now they need to find 4 more to push us to Oregon, to map 3, to have the hopes for EU in the finals.
Well, one of the slight concerns for me for the side of Rogue on this is that on their attack, Spoit is always a big drive. The superstar player has a heck of a way of moving through a map when the map's being moved against him. Sometimes he cannot quite find the same energy, and in that opening half, he was a big draw and a big reason for them to take the rounds that they did. So if he cannot quite find some of that energy that he's had on his attack here onto his defense, this could turn into another sad, quick story for the side of Rogue, not to put all the pressure onto him, but you hope that the pockets of Rogue can find a little bit of depth they don't always get. Gomez, the thinker, is going to make a bit of a loud statement here on the window. They're going to swing into it. Gets it, Spoit!
A great front entry there for the side of Spoit. A good start to a round for Rogue. And that is completely the opposite from what we've seen on Bank. Every single time it was Gomez finding Kanto first. This time is the other way around.
Diaz gets one of their own, holding onto the long angle towards the double bedroom window. Takes the header for Deepak. Gone. Those Maestro cams will just be cams at this point. The bubbles can be popped. There's obviously the aggressive positioning of Spoit around box. Spirits. Is he going to try something quick, or is he just hoping that he drifts to a position he can pre-fire? The pings are coming through. He might be able to knock a couple of these boards out. There's the drift, but it's a grenade and a second for Spirits. A bit of a missed moment there from the side of Rogue. Leon tries to control the SMG at a range that is far from comfortable, but here, and I hate to say it, it's another 4 versus 2.
Perfect synchrony though from XSET, that grenade, and at the same time just punching through with Cryan. Goes for a hop out and will be taken out. Leaves it only in the hands of Leon Geds. In a 1v4, tries to get back towards the side, but instead decides to go top instead. Might be able to isolate 1 or 2 players, but they're all close around each other, and he might just walk right into a crossfire here. It's Kino that looks it up. It's XSET in the lead.
I mean, that couple of moments, that knock onto the balcony door, the play on the 2 players, they definitely knew where Spoit was. I don't know if they had the full read on Kanto, but they read him to bits on the back end of that. Rogue, they find themselves on the back foot once again. The first attack taken away from them. And it's turning into a little bit of a struggle here. Back and forth there, Kino. He was waiting for that game.
Of course, you have the man advantage. You can afford to stay out there just a little bit longer, especially with the time that was left. And now, slowly but steadily, the dreams of Rogue start to disappear. Slowly but steadily, they know that their spot in the grand finals is under massive threat. And as under all the cheering, they will head down back towards the basement floor. Rogue need to reply. Rogue, they need to send an answer to XSET's aggression.
Down towards the basement, down towards cellar, as he said, a bit of a back and forth. Then XSET were just able to get a little bit more of the swing on the momentum. Rogue, they're not even currently around it. You can see they've got themselves that big sort of stretch and extension. Kaid to keep a little bit of safety, the freewheeling energy that might be slowed down. The Lion was a consistency in the previous map. They knew how they wanted to try and control the loose players. Drones can be just as deadly on this map, combined with the Jackal of Spirits, who has been pretty deadly across this series. Rogue got to make sure that there's at least somebody else to lean into when the pressure starts to get.
Kenta aggressive on potentially the first position that will take some fire. It's XSET that take control slowly but steadily of that northern side of the building. Of course, they do need to go all the way down towards that basement, but these roamers are deadly. You need to take them down as the first grenade pops but flies too far. It's Kanto that does deal the first amount of damage, or tries to at least, as he has to fall back.
Yeah, they knew where the position was. He was trying to get the catch on the swing round. The grenades were heading towards the top of the stairs. Luckily not bounced towards his position. Does he get this next one? Spoit looks away at the worst possible second, but the drone gets a reveal. There's the player pre-fired over the top. He's concerned about the hopping on the window, but XSET's just forcing the players for now. The knock over the top. Spoit is out of there, takes the drop on the hatch, the smart move. He's not going to sit around again, as I talked about before. This is what XSET did really, really well on the first map, was isolate those loose rogue players, push them, knock them around, and then have the player to catch the kill itself. Rogue, they're making sure they keep a bit of an arm's length, rebuilding the structure, the movement of the shield towards the plant. Now they've got the idea, okay, they're putting pressure onto Kitchen, they're putting pressure onto that hatch.
A bit of a retake is happening though. Kran and Leon together with Kanto looking to go back up to the first and second floor. They want to fight back to XSET. We said it before, they need to send a reply, and as they just finished droning, this might just be it.
Yoga still sitting on the balcony, waiting at the door itself. They're trying to get the break. I'm not sure if there was anything to try and stop this, but the breach pulls through the wall itself. Spoit, he's utilizing those glasses to try and keep it. They have the control of the hatch, and again, this is Yoga on a massive flank watch here, going for the slow movement, the pull of the feet tucked to the corner, swings into it. Kino gets revenge. There it is. The take onto Leon on the top, crying to go on an adventure. The breach is there, 20 seconds. Spoit's doing everything to stay alive. Takes the head up for Spirits on the wide swing. Kino, a sliver of health. Needs some support to come through from the rest in the pockets of seconds they've got left. Still has two smokes. Isn't going to use them. Opts to just try and stick the plant. There it is. The drop of the kit. The swing on the second.
And they send the answer they need to send. But they need to keep this up now. I told you it's there.
I love it. I love it.
It's a lot of noise being made. Way!
There's flexing. And T-posing. Ah.
The cuddles as well. It's needed as Rogue fans. It's a tough game for them so far. 7-1 loss on the first map. Whew. Now fighting back. And what a shot that was from Spoit. And again, the decision-making here from Crying is on point. He takes down that diffuser first priority. After that, you shoot at the person that can fire at you, just to make sure that they have to restart that 7-second timer. Any means necessary. 4-4. Games and Bar up next. Rogue will be extending themselves. Some rotation holes will be created in dining and in the kitchen area. Hatches to be opened up as well. So it gives you a bit of an idea how they would like to play this. They think XSET is going to be moving in from that northern side of the building, and if you look at the previous amount of rounds, they definitely have been putting a lot of pressure towards that area. This way they can challenge, this way they can try and go for some fights and maybe pick up a kill or two before the side is truly reached.
Rogue, we're starting to see some of those little moments, those little sparks. I'm still not going to entirely put myself behind the performance because it's just a couple of the players that couldn't show up on the previous map showing up now, but on the side of XSET, all of them have been able to have a very solid contribution. It takes more than a hero play to have consistency. We've always said this. But if your heroes start to really show up, then it turns into a bit of a superhero tale. Crying, the man built like one, is having himself a little bit more of a better time on this map.
Needs to continue as well. First set of Excars just been shot out, I believe. Not quite sure where that was. So it's a total of 2. Someone with very high lung capacity in the background there. But either way, Yoga looking to put up that first pressure. Just some taps, just to make sure that if a head crosses, they'll be able to pick up the actual connection. Smokes are being tossed in. We'll confirm there's no current active ADS, and there's a grenade might follow soon, especially with these flashbangs. Scanto, you need to get out of there! The Spirits will find him, and that's the entry.
A very well played use of utility there. They read that there wasn't the ADS and then read that they can do everything else behind it. Spoit either side of the shield. He knows it's a position that's going to be under the next set of stress. He's currently alone, and we can see obviously XSET on the roof about to roll some drones around to get the read exactly just on how alone he is. But they're not giving away the awareness on the chance at the rotate background as well, because obviously there is the player down towards Trophy, towards Kitchen of Crying. Doubled up with an extra. They're hoping that they can try and offer some support, but XSET, they don't put things to chance. Spoit's next under pressure. Swings either side. He went for a retake here, a little bit aggressive with Leon for some support. Puts a bit of doubt into the side of XSET, but the drones are still able to roll their way through towards the shield. Cryan got spotted. He's going to have to get out of there. The sprays come through, the pings as well.
Rogue under immense amount of pressure right now. They're slowly being pushed back towards the site, just where XSET want them. But 45 seconds left on the clock, and as long as Spoit can hold on to this top blue staircase, he might be able to deal damage as he gets one. He's completely stunned, but a grenade comes in, doesn't take him out though, as he falls back to the actual site.
XSET push behind the use of the grenade, make sure that momentum works in their favor with waves, because they've only got 30 seconds to try and wave and break the shores of the site. The verticality is falling into their favor. Trying to hunt those loose players who have pulled themselves further and further away. All that watch on the hold is now going to have to come down to the hold and the break itself. Leon, he sprays towards the side. Tart cannot get it. Gomez with the drop. The kit's just behind him. Right round on the corner, takes the burn. Cryan gets the down. The rest of them finds the one up to the front line as well. They have to come off the stick. It's a great take, Aquino, but we're out of time. They have so exceptionally to get here, but we are starting to get the semi-final, I think, that people wanted from these two teams. Who is going to be the first to put themselves onto map point? It has so far been pretty much blow for blow. Nobody has been able to thread more than 2 rounds in a row in this map, obviously. The first was all 7.
Yeah, that was quite a performance coming out from the side of XSET. Rogue has been unable to give a complete reply to that one. Not 7 rounds on their own, but at least they are managing to get back into it here. Giving everybody their time to shine. Now, Rogue will be defending the kitchen and dining. XSET on the attack. Top 4 will be crucial. You want to take control of that so you can actually start to dislocate the players of Rogue with that verticality and move them out of position.
I love the... Because it's like being at a football match.
It is.
All right, XSET, you've had your timeout and your team talk. And now you've got maybe a bit more attention paid towards the loose threads of Rogue. Rogue's been able to play a couple of rotates that they would not have gotten away with on Bank, based purely on how precise XSET seem to be with their knowledge of where those players were at all times. Kino has demonstrated that they do still have aspects of that on their earlier takes it. But it's still work to be done. It was an even first half, 3 apiece.
Now looking to make the difference here. Rogue are playing around on that top 4, and ping's already coming down. The information is there about Spoit, and he needs to try and survive for as long as he possibly can. You cannot afford to lose another 2 players as quickly as they did the last time around.
Spoit, almost face-to-face and face-checking a Rotero, sees the breach on all the sides. The double window is clear, so he slips his way through. Looks for the fight onto the balcony. Tucked into a Nuno corner. Kino suffers a little scrape, not enough to give him the full fear of a death, but enough to make him slightly reposition. Focus round again, Spoit, very aggressive against the role of the intel. There's cams, there's calls, there's ideas of roughly where the players are. They're looking to try and get that vertical control before they can focus down on the plant behind the big, long dining table. As you see, most teams start to roll their way through here, but without the semblance or a sniff of a smoke plant, it's going to be a lot more of an aggressive take here. DS is going wide towards the trophy window. Yoga's trying to get the catch on the bathroom, but Spoit gets spirits, removes the Flores and Kanto. They quickly head down.
Some red pinks coming out, and Nitro to reply as well. well. 3v5 Rogue expanding on their man counter, trying to continue to do so as well. Gomez, though, has one locked in, but misses the opportunity. Are you aware of the second player out there, though? Spoit hiding where Kendra did before. Is it going to be able to strike? Surprisingly, Gomez finds one.
Gomez swinging on the stair set, 40 seconds. They have the vertical control, the bounce of the grenade round the corner itself. Spoit, he's got himself in a position of causing trouble. Kanto's got himself a position of offering some support. Might go for the first swing. It's risky. How aware are they of that location? It could just be a spray through, but they need to stack themselves up. XSET, the pressure on the hatch itself, the bounce around the corner. They're trying to remove any player that's close. There it is. Misses the foot. There's the catch onto one. There's the second. There's Spoit with the triples! Spoit playing in the get-through spot. Gets it. There's one more for Spoit!
The young superstar out of Sweden! His first ever stage! Makes it to the major straight away! He hides and he finds success. Rogue now on map points. One more round and they'll find themselves going to the decider map to find out who's going to the grand final.
We'll just let the audience, we'll let that bleed into the mics for those of you watching from home. You may have thoughts about how noisy this audience has been, but I can tell you inside the room, well,
it's deafening.
It's deafening. 6-4, Rogue back down to Cellar. The first of their sort of swing round on their rounds that have been successful on this defense. It wasn't always sort of set in stone. It was a bit of a scrappy fight. We've seen a massive step up from a couple of the guns here from Rogue. XSET, they're still balanced, but they don't quite have that same sharpness that they had on Bank, whether it's because we've got more of that energy from Rogue or not. They've had their time out. They have 2 more rounds, 2 more opportunities to bring this into OT and have a fight over 3 rounds instead of potentially another 7.
They have the opportunity between 2 of these sites to try and lock it off. The first one will be here. Leon gets with the flag. It gets it. Fight Spirit on the spawn peak. And that's an amazing start for Rogue as they look to chase. It's Spoito that goes down. Will be confirmed momentarily here as they try and lock in the last piece of information. The shoulder peak comes in and Gomez will find him. It's a shutout for the top player of Rogue. They found Spirits before, so just a 4-4 for now.
A very, very important fight back there from XSET. If that had gone unanswered, even though it was a kill on the other side of the board, you still got to have a response within that, the 7-second period after blood has been broken. XSET steady clear here over the top. They've lost the Jackal, which they've used pretty well, but it's not the only tool in their arsenal in terms of trying to find exactly where Rogue have set themselves up. Crying with a C4, will it catch?
Oh, it does! And it's another kill that Rogue will take into their pockets and try and fuel their momentum with. Now XSET, they have no other choice. They just need to head towards the site. Clearing out these roamers is proving to be too difficult, too costly as well. So Gomez waiting onto the door entrance, waiting for Kino to come through so they can start using these exothermics to open up directly onto the site. They want to go for a plant. It's the best way they can try and go for it. A beautiful shot from D-back. Finds 1, 2 more to go, and Rogue will go to map 3.
XSET, it's the 4 versus 2 for the first time. It's not in your favor, Diaz and Kino. All that's left here of a chance at continuing the run onto Chalet, their map and their pick, and keeping us off the 3rd map, the decider. They're stacked up with a minute to go, the burn on the utility. Rogue, they're offering a little bit of a shoulder, a little bit of a peek, but nothing too deep, nothing too much of a swing. Kino, he's going to see if he can stick it. Currently, they're just tucked onto the door itself, not for very long. Diaz gets one as a response, but the kit is right in the firing line of the player watching on Blue Door. He's well aware. The bullet's over the bow. Rogue win map 2.
We will be heading to Oregon. Rogue is not willing to die. Get in the bin, as they say right there. And now, as they bring it back, they stop the bleeding from the 7-1.